Alliance, I feel, at this point. Not bad picks by any means, but LGD's draft is just so solid. There's really not a great solution for the PL come late game.
Right.
The Bat Rider can create a ton of space in the early to mid game along with the Doom, and you've got the Phoenix, who single-handedly basically shut down Alliance's push. The thing I do like for Alliance this game is they have options. It's not as much of a push strat. They could have gone a bit later last game, sure, but ultimately they were on a timer. This game, Slark, Enchantress, even a Beastmaster Quap, all of these heroes scale exceptionally well, so I think should it go late, Alliance could potentially take it even then. So for a team that often excels in late game decision making, I think that's a great option to have in your toolkit. But yeah, I still favor LGD overall. I think it's just the more well-rounded draft. Alliance a little bit more reliant on snowballing and LGD getting picked off.
We can see a quick counter ward on both sides. It was actually really interesting before we jumped into the game. Hang on, LGD has eyes on Loda. Loda with EGM in his pocket. Doesn't look like he wants to fight into 5, so who would imagine he'll back up. But it was actually really interesting to see. We saw Maybe as well as Akke both TP mid immediately after spawning in, and then they saw each other drop wards here, and it looks like it was actually, I mean, if you want to count the sentry still standing, a little bit of an advantage to LGD, but for the most part, no vision to be had here in this mid lane. Horn's going to blow. We'll see who grabs the runes, then we'll take a look at who's going to be handling who. Looks like maybe he'll be happy to take the top bounty, and it'll be Loda grabbing the bottom. Speaking of, Loda's going to be joined by S4. S4 currently setting up shop down here in bottom lane, so a little bit of switch in terms of what you're accustomed to. Going to be Akke once again de-warding a bit, playing on our Enchantress using the Hawk. That Hawk provided courtesy of Admiral Bulldog, who will be back on the Beastmaster out here in the off lane. As mentioned, Loda will be on the Slark, and he's going to be taking up shop, or setting up shop here in mid lane along with EGM, already putting out some aggression onto Maybe, who's going to lose about half of his health bar there, but quickly tangos it back on up.
It's the happy little tree.
Yes. So Maybe on the Bad Rider, as we can see. Doom's going to be played by Zhao. He's currently making his way down towards the bottom lane. September's already there on the Phoenix. Fantastic play on the Phoenix last time around. Aggressive on the slightly surprising pick in the Phantom Lancer. He's going to be farming up, but he's going to be farming in the safe lane, joined by MMY, who will be playing on our Witch Doctor.
Yeah, so you've got Aggressive on a real comfort hero for him. We haven't seen as much PL as of late. MVP, the big team that really loves to run the hero no matter what, but this is again, I think this is a good PL game. As far as like the late game matchup goes, they don't really have great illusion clear. The control is so-so. If Quap gets a Hex or Beastmaster gets a Refresher, there's a decent amount, but you got to roar the right illusion, which is always going to be tricky, as Fog mentioned. So I think it's a decent PL game on paper, but you know, I talk about late game PL. Generally, the way Aggressive plays, he plays this hero like it's an early game hero. He'll be getting early BOTs if he can. If not, certainly TPing to fights and just generally looking to skirmish early and often. So keep your eyes on him. He will likely be the engine that's driving the aggression come that like 8 to 10 minute mark or so.
Speaking of aggression, this is a rough one for S4. He's already being harassed by the spirits coming from September. Zhao laying the pain train down with the Infernal Blade as well and just burning through S4's regen. Does have a Mango, a Salve, but he's already burnt through most of his tangos, so he's going to have to be real careful here, and we can see his CS not the greatest. He's actually being doubled up by the farming Doom here in this lane matchup, as would be expected, I would say, in a 2 versus 1. But enough about that. Let's talk about what's going on here mid. Break this down for me, LD. How do you think this is going to work for Maybe and Loda both?
So Slark is probably one of the very best heroes versus a Bat Rider. You could Dark Pact off the sticky Napalm. If he lasses you at the wrong time later on in the game, you can also Dark Pact that off. So Slark is just flat out great against Bat Rider. And in the laning stage, he's getting help early on from EGM. EGM going to be controlling the runes, which in a way also controls Maybe, as they do tether in here. They're looking for a bit of a tower dive, but Loda's fairly low. You'll have to back away. Healed up by EGM. So we do see some early pressure on Maybe, and this is going to slow the Bat Rider down. RD4 is very far back. Doesn't quite die, but he is under the gun, and this will likely delay the Blink Dagger. I have to say, a good start for Maybe as far as CS goes. Already sitting at 9 even against the dual lane.
Not too shabby, and like you said, you know, taking a look at EGM, obviously no farm, but he's level 2, so he's getting a little bit going on. This top lane, though, interests me a ton. Aggressive, helped out by MMY, against this dual semi-core matchup of Admiral Bulldog on the Beastmaster, and of course Akke, who's roaming back towards this camp near the secret shop, stacking it and what have you on the Enchantress. How do you see this playing out? I mean, we can see currently Phantom Lancer sitting at 16 CS, but they're really not doing a whole lot to keep Enchantress and Admiral Bulldog from being in XP range and getting a little gold in their pockets at the same time.
I'm wondering where Akke's first big move comes in. So far, him and EGM have been taking turns either stacking this camp or just trying to find good creeps. But now he has found the ideal one. Actually was watching, or was chatting with Akke and Loda yesterday, and they were both going crazy about just how broken the Satyr is, and it was funny because we had just seen this Hadouken in action. I think it was a double Satyr gank in the same top lane. Got a very early first blood. You can see the range on it, and it's been buffed as far as the damage goes recently, so they both feel it should be nerfed. But hey, if it's not nerfed, Akke's going to use it to full effect. And you know, when an Enchantress Chen player is saying a creep needs to be nerfed, you know it's damn good. So we'll see if that happens in the next patch. But for now, this is going to put some pressure, and they need to. Aggressive right now in the top lane is free farming, so we haven't really seen Akke control the lanes that much yet, but this is where things start to ramp up as we hit the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, using the Wild Wing Ripper, and we can actually see Aggressive trying to tear down the trees, and there's even going to be a cask. NMY does manage to eat the Shockwave right in the mouth, though, so taking a fair amount of damage there. Surprised, actually, we haven't seen any really concerted dives on either side. There's so much that could happen, and how about now? Bulldog being melted down by the Sun Ray after the Icarus dive. Aggressive's right there, doesn't have any mango, and yes, will manage to bring him down. So Aggressive draws our first blood, but MMY going to be the return kill, as well as the Enchantress able to at least get something going, but Aggressive being the core, picking that kill up. Big win there for LGD.
Well, he doesn't have the mango anymore. Popped it to get the kill, but has just enough for the doppelganger, and will be forced to use it. So has to back away. That is why you get a mango on a carry. It used to be thought of more as a support item, or only on very low monopool heroes, but it makes the difference, gets them the first blood, and hey, now the Witch Doctor, one of the beauties of this hero as a support is not only can he sustain a push, but he is basically a walking fountain for your carry. Right back to full HP.
Really do love what's been going on in bottom lane, by the way, with S4. Fought his way back to not only even, but if you count the denies, ahead of Zhao 8. What was a very tough lane. He's already level 6, a little low on mana. Actually just got the 250 for his ulti if he wanted to use it. Also has his mango. Picks up treads about the same time as the mid Slark did, who was given dual lane support by EGM for the vast majority of the time. So S4 really getting a lot out of this bottom lane, especially when you consider how tough it was starting out.
Yeah, at the same time, this is an off-lane Doom. If he's left in a 1v1, he's going to get wrecked by a safe lane Queen of Pain. We used to see Team Secret back when S4 was on it do this all the time in the previous patch. So I think overall, a great comeback by S4 in the lane, but the net result of where Zhao 8 is way better for LGD. Zhao 8 getting essentially free farming the off-lane, has Arcane Boots, has the Shockwave creep. So as annoying as it was to deal with when the Enchantress was using a top, now Alliance are going to have to deal with the two, and he's got the monopool to support it. So you can see S4 did pop a salve, but Doom is online, and as well as the lasso. Blink Dagger still ways off for maybe, but he has already purchased the smoke. They may actually be looking for an early move here. Generally, you won't see a Batrider do this until much later on, but with Doom, anything's possible.
I like the idea of changing up, like you said. Maybe not waiting on the blink, instead just going for something immediately, getting a little help from another hero on the map, and trying to hit an unexpected timing. And speaking of, EGM has bottled up a regen rune, and we'll see. I mean, he's nowhere near level 6, so relocate's not going to be an option, but if he wanted to try to drag that into a fight, could be huge to allow a dive, or at least allow an exit after a team fight, something like that. We're 7 minutes in, and talk to me briefly while things are kind of quiet here, LD. This IO, what's going to be the overall game plan? I mean, yeah, we know what he's good at, but what is the overarching strategy with this pick and how it's going to be utilized?
I think it's really exploiting the map control Beastmaster gives you, and as well as countering the single target pick-off potential of LGD, which is what Gods was really harping on. The relocate, fantastic to deal with a lasso, as well as just save a Doom target. So defensively, it's very effective. But when your Beastmaster finds an opening, you roar. You want Loda or the Queen of Pain of S4 to come right in and find that pick. Oh, close call there. We're looking for the leap, but not going to find the pounce. Does look like always the Phoenix will have the swoop away, but yeah, still pressuring him and forcing out the Icarus dive is quite nice.
Well, maybe showing himself back in lane has shown that he has a smoke as well, so that's going to be something if Alliance are checking inventories, and I'm sure they are, they'll need to be confident of. Maybe double damaged. Spawns at 8, so let's see what Loda can do with it.
It's the mind game smoke. You get it super early with no intention of using it, just so when they see it, they're nervous. They're like, oh, he's probably going to gank someone soon. We got to be careful. Batrider's got smoke, guys. He's like, nah, I'm just stacking the jungle.
They drop it back near your tier 2, and they're like, oh, he gave it away. Who's got it?
You know, we used to see like fun mind games back when teams were experimenting with the greedy 4-position junglers, that they would hide their quelling blades so you didn't know they were jungling.
Yep.
And then they would go. I think Misery used to do it as well on support. But S4 getting aggressive here mid.
And
they are looking to push pretty early.
Yeah, like maybe still lacking the blink, still quite a ways away. Still does have sticky napalm, 2 points into it. And this might be enough to try to call second. If it's going to be a Doom on the S4 and the Sunrays there. Loda engages on MMY, however, using the Shadow Dance to try to extricate himself now as LGD rotated in the entire team. And Loda's going to be in trouble. He's been spotted. They know where he is. And they're going to chase him down, able to leap away and dart packed out. So very good play for him to make it away safely. But
Aggressive was trying to get in front of him so that when he pounces, he doesn't actually go off the cliff. He stops on the PL, but couldn't quite get the body block. So this guy is a PL master. He was played him a lot in the previous patch, but just didn't quite have the angle there.
Well, I'll tell you, coming back to what you were talking about, LD, just the comparatively good state of Zhao 8, even though S4 looked like he was, well, I mean, he didn't look like it, he absolutely was doing a great job in that bottom lane once the Phoenix began to roam. This is a mech that's essentially done on him. He's got the headdress just about complete. He's got the buckler recipe already picked up, and he's 600 gold away now. Or he's at 600 gold, so only a couple hundred gold away from completing the mech. That's such a big fight item for him to be able to bring to bear 10 minutes in.
It's a huge item, and what it means is they have the team fight edge for sure. With the Egg also about to come online September, just about to be level 6, you've got Mech, you've got Egg, Doom will cool down, you'll have your Batrider Blink eventually, maybe a bit slow to build, has gone for the full Magic Wand, the bottle, and the boots, but eventually he's going to have it, and you've got a BOTPL, so the whole team can really...
There's a lasso, S4 the target once again, unable to get away. That's twice he's died in a span of just a couple of minutes, and LGD just pouring it on. Poor S4, and that, without a doubt, is the mech. Yeah, the red
lane as well. Bulldog on the move. He's going to find MMY here. Try to head onto the roar, but maybe forced to use it with Loda sweeping around, looking for the pounce. MMY gets sandwiched and will be finished off.
Alliance able to get the return kill there, and MMY having a bit of a rough one. He's down near the bottom in terms of net worth. And as a matter of fact, I mean, it's very close to even. I mean, it's about 1,000 gold lead currently for LGD.
It's a crop for a puck though, so, sorry, I'll go crop for a witch doctor. Puck, what am I talking about? I'm hallucinating there and it's hot near, but no, it's a support for a carry. So in the end, I think LGD is still very happy with the trade.
Now speaking of trading, LGD going to take a tower as bottom lane is all theirs. Zhao 8 misses the last hit on the tower, surprisingly. But I would say things are going about as well as LGD could have asked for right now. What's the transitionary period? Do you just decide to go ahead and start really trying to four-man around and leave the Phantom Lancer to split, push, and farm? Do you try to really get involved quickly, as you said, aggressive, playing the hero like he's an early game hero? What do you think the play is?
So for LGD, a couple of basic things. Get your Blink Dagger, maybe, then use the first smoke. Along with that, PL can BOT in the assist the fight. You probably want to bring the mech in as well, which means Chalet participates, and then Witch Doctor just kind of fills in where needed. So I think LGD are very content sitting back right now, but once they have those key items, they'll be looking for a fight, and if you're on the side of Alliance, they really need relocate. That is their big counter to Lasso. Slark might be okay if he gets Lasso, depending on when he Dark Packs, but the rest of these heroes are very easily dealt with, especially if the Doom comes into the equation, and likely Chalet will be at some point getting more initiation. Oh, they're going for a move on EGM. He's not level 6. Sunray comes through. Wow! Open a beautiful tethered back. That was wow worthy. Looks like he's going to make it out.
Like, I mean, wow on 2 counts. One, the fact that he made it out, and that was as aggressive a death ward as I've ever seen to kill a level 5 Iron. It was going to be aggressive.
Top lane, the roar into the stop. He's already used the doppelganger, and aggressive is going to go down, but Egg gets committed after the Sunray of the Spirits. Bulldog dropping low. Is this going to be a support on a core kill? Tries for the TP out. He's out of the range of the stun, and he will escape.
Good for the style points there, man. He could have ran a little further away to make sure he wasn't going to be caught, but no, I'm kidding. Of course, he
badasses do not look back at explosions.
Exactly.
He had his back turned. Bulldog trying to build his legend. And they get a tower as well, mid lane. So this is the big thing that Alliance do have is mobility. Queen of Pain with Blink. Loda, Slark's already hypermobile in general, and they have the IO, so they can spread the map a little bit better, and that's what you want to do. You do not want to fight head-on into a Doom mech, into a Phoenix Egg. You want to pick LGD apart at the seams, and we saw perhaps the seeds of their overall game plan in those just past few skirmishes.
Yeah, I mean, Alliance, like you said, mobility, the ability to really not just carve up a fight, but carve up the map. I mean, their ability to, I mean, and you've already touched on most of it, the Beastmaster with his Hawkeye, relocate, etc., using enchanted creeps to split push lanes even when you're away from them and so on. Managing the map is Alliance's bread and butter and has been since their first stages, okay? Or since their low ages, I should say. So, you know, it's you know, whenever this is in their wheelhouse. I think the question for me is going to be, can LGD do what is so hard to do against a team that has been playing together this long, that is this synergistic in terms of how they communicate, in terms of how they draft, and so on, and that's disrupt them into the middle, into the mid game. It's easy to derail a plan early if you are successful ganking and stuff, but for the most part, it takes a little bit more to continue to do that from 15 to 25 minutes in, and they've got the tools. It's just a matter of if they've got the execution.
I definitely think they do, because they have the tool that we just mentioned, which is the Blink Dagger, but there's the quaffle.
Big kill as the Doom is dropped before he can even Doom. Aggressive has hung out the dry currently as well, but Loki, like you said, making its debut. Aggressive's going to end up dying in the woods. In the meantime, Bat does manage to get a return kill, bringing down S4, but now the chase is on as Bulldog was giving chase to September. Maybe he's right there, and Bulldog might be in a little bit of trouble if he's not real careful. Maybe he's going to come back down to earth in a very precarious situation. Hot LZ for you.
Not done yet. There's
makes it a 4 count as Alliance loses only 1, and that immediately turns the tide of this game and gives Alliance not just their biggest lead, but damn near the biggest lead of after this tower drops. It will be the biggest lead of the game to this point.
I'm really surprised LGD took that fight. They did not have the Doom or the mech, and they had already been initiated on. Alliance had position under the tower, and they still forced the issue. Queen of Pain ult sure had been expended at that point, but it hit multiple heroes. I'm really surprised LGD took that fight. If they have the Doom, they can take any fight, but without the mech, that's a big component of their team fight. So I think a blunder there, but really good execution from Alliance overall. Loda popping the ult at the right time, finding multiple pounces. S4 doing a good job of kiting and soaking up damage without going down, and Akke starting to dish it out now, building towards the drums, has the phase boots. He's not the hero you're going to focus, but you do not want to ignore that Enchantress either.
I'll tell you, Loda's so far ahead right now. He is 1,500 net worth above. The next highest on the list, it is the PL. He's already completed a Sanj and Yasha, so his lethality, his survivability in these fights, it's going to go even higher. If you're LGD, man, what do you do? How do you account for what's happened and how to prevent it from taking place again?
Just be a little more patient. Don't take you want to take the fight when you have all your spells. You either have vision or you're running in 5v5. They took a fight 5v4, so I don't think they should worry too much about the long-term game plan. They definitely could go late. They're dire side with the Bat Rider, but just fine. Go for safe ganks. Go for smart ganks, and it looks like they're going to try for one now, as they have smoked up with maybe. Has the Blink Dagger and is looking for S4, who's blinked down into the that's good. Didn't even have to drop the lasso for that.
Tell you what, MMY pulls the trigger on those death wards with abandon. I mean, like, I love it. I love seeing, because so often you'll see it held on to and maybe not as effective as it could have been. Bulldog will be spotted, but we'll be able to make away. Nothing there to disrupt his teleport to the Hoos.
It's pretty fun to watch Witch Doctor just hop up and down and, hey man, he needs farm too. He's not going to be a support for long at this rate. Actually doing pretty decently here in the Witch Doctor, all things considered.
Yeah, he and the Phoenix, though, are down near the bottom, so... Treads, hey, managed to upgrade his footwear. That's a step in the right direction at the very least. Taking a look at Bulldog, he's getting pretty close now to his blink. It looks like he wants to get active before it's complete, though. He's about 550 gold out, but he's smoked up.
This is not going to be an easy fight. They need that clean pick because everything is online for LGD.
Wow, that's very aggressive. They're going to go ahead and try to bring in with the Reloki. Let's see if they've got the damage. Sonic Wave's going to catch 3, well placed by S4. EGM does end up dropping, and the Sunray doing a good job. But there's going to be the egg that's going to chase back what remains of Alliance. Akke returning to his team, but now with most of the ulti spent, going to be a tough road to hoe if they want to try to fight it out. EGM actually bought back to try to re-engage. Let's see if it'll pay off. Aggressive, started off by Loda eating a lot of damage. Now the Sunray doing what it can to keep him alive. Loda might end up dropping to a no, able to bounce himself to safety, and now the Phoenix, the next target. September, Icarus dives away. Damage got him just at the last second. And Alliance, with the buyback of the lowest net worth hero on the board, manages to take what seemed to be a weird fight that was not initiated perfectly and instead turned it into a big win as they're now eyeballing the tier 2 top.
That was a little unfortunate for Mr. Shao right there. I'm pretty sure Scorched Earth actually killed off the Necro Book, which is why his HP suddenly plummeted. I don't know if it really would have changed the fight. He was running for his life anyway, but I think we might see I wouldn't call it a counter to the Phoenix, but a pretty good way to deal with it, which is the IO. The IO's healing heroes up that are tanking the Sunray, keeping them alive, letting them come back to the fight. And it's something God's mentioned in the post-game, last game as well, is just having sustain in general against LGD. This big wombo combo. We haven't fully seen it yet, though. Shallwait unable to get the Doom off in the last engagement. Second time he's been picked, so I think if you're LGD now, you're thinking we need better vision. Maybe they need a gem on the Batrider, just some more aggressive lane wards. It seems like Alliance is just getting the head start, and that's making all the difference. If you imagine that fight starting with a Doom onto the Beastmaster instead of Aurora onto the Doom, at best Alliance back away, at worst they give up a kill. But it's always them getting the jump.
Very effective relocate as well. Going into that fight, it looked like it was just going to be a little. It felt like Alliance wasn't really completely sure of the positioning of all of LGD, and maybe had bitten off more than they can chew. But they managed it very well, and it comes back to what you were saying, LD. Just their ability to carve up terrain and really segment these fights out, focus fire correctly.
That's a great word. That's what Alliance really wants, is a segmented fight. Just take it bit by bit, find a pick, then move forward to the next hero. Don't just run into Phoenix Egg with a Doom already applied and a hero's being lassoed. The more that the fights are chaotic, the more Alliance are going to have the advantage.
Right. Well, they're looking for more of an advantage now, as they have smoked forward. Now cutting across right in front of their own tier 2. And Loda and Akke, the supposed targets. Let's see if LGD can catch them in time.
If there's an IO sitting back, Slark not the ideal target in this situation. Tether relocate can easily counter a lasso or a Doom. So Loda's feeling very confident.
Yep, able to back out. And Bulldog able to just go and free farm top once again. Alliance is doing what Alliance does. They are forcing you to commit to things that don't really bear fruit, and then they're just taking advantage of all the space that's created, all of the farm, all of the time, all of the experience that is freed up for every other hero on the board. Well played.
We're going to see us4 building towards an Orchid here. Bulldog got the Necro 1, and he's going to go back for a Blink Dagger, and it's worth mentioning, this is the way he was building Beastmaster at Shanghai. Was he would not level up the Necro Book, he would get an early Blink, then he gets the Necro 3. We saw a deviation in the last game where he went straight into the Necro 3 right away for the team, and they were just looking to try to end the game as quickly as possible. So I like the Blink Dagger because it gives them that initiator, and that can really set up for the relocate.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a battle of the blinks, too, so it's not just an initiator, but a counter-initiator. Say you're near the back lines, Doom gets a good jump, manages to Doom someone. You can buy time for a relocate, buy time just to reset the fight if you're able to blink in and, say, lock down the Phoenix who's burning you away from the back lines. So I completely agree with you. The blink, I think, an essential item. So we're now just past 20 minutes, LD. There's a defusal. I was just about to ask about that, and it drives me nuts I didn't get it out of my mouth in time. Was this defusal coming out for aggressive? How big of an impact does this item have in their willingness to take fights?
It is the fighting item for PL. If you want to farm, we see a lot of players get the Yasha first, even complete a Manta. Gives you a more defensive item, but the Defusal is the DPS item. You get this, you're looking to take fights. The Purge isn't really that amazing this game, but as far as like the actual debuffs it can remove, but more importantly, it's just having a Defusal, period, where you have the extra damage from the illusion. So I definitely think LGD want to take fights with this, but Alliance have just done such a good job at controlling the map. They've always had the Hawk in good position. They've had good wards. LGD still have not surprised them, and maybe this is where LGD just need that vision hero. We saw the Night Stalker getting banned in the previous draft. It's been a go-to hero. They have not gone for a Beastmaster type hero in the offlane. They have Batrider who, while he's great at de-warding and map control in some sense, he doesn't easily scout out ganks unless you get the very devious smoke goes coming right up together. They're going to grab Shallwait and roll him down. He's brought down immediately. Sonic Wave is there as well. They're going to get September for free. That cost them very little. Aggressive. Just utterly burst down, and this game has officially hit critical mass if you're an Alliance fan. That was not even remotely contested, and yes, it's a gank, but just watching the heroes melt, realizing just how much damage Alliance has to bring to bear and how good their initiation happens to be, it's hard to imagine unless the PL is just able to farm up something like a Manta and maybe another big item on top of that. You're talking about farming a Manta? Alliance are thinking, we're going to need this game before he even gets a play.
Exactly. Hey, they get his Band of Velvet skin, though, so.
Okay. Well, Manta coming any second now. The lasso on the Bulldog.
And he's going to end up dropping here, but Alliance snuck on. Oh, well, they're actually going to back and leave the range rack standing. I'm surprised they didn't.
All right, shall we? Is he going to get to casted Doom this game? Nope, not going to happen. Shao8 has gotten caught way too much this game. That was the third pick in a row where Shao8 gets picked to start the fight, and then the whole fight collapses. Again, it's not just the Doom, it's the Doom with the mech. Like, he is a critical fulcrum of their team fight. It's really good play by Alliance and just good shot calling, but at the same time, if you're Shao8, I'm sure the guy's frustrated with himself. Like, that just can't happen. If he dies again, Alliance are going to take another objective.
He's been running around with Blink, with his Blink mech Ogre Club forever, and I feel like he's almost playing as if he already has his BKB. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't even know if the BKB would save him. He basically dies during the roar. Like, they have some heavy bursts, so it's again the vision game. It's Alliance having the lane ward here in the mid lane now allows them to scout out for future opportunities, and Beastmaster Hawk is really big, so you just got to be more careful, play close to the team. When he got caught, it was pretty deep, to be fair. It's not normally a place where you're going to get jumped, but they had like 2 heroes all the way at the secret shop, I think 2 like over towards the jungle, and Shao8 was just he was the weak point, the Achilles heel of that fight, and they took advantage again.
That's now a 10,000 gold lead for for Alliance.
Just look at those green dots peppering the graph. One fight and it explodes.
Like Morse code, like Morse code, but I can't even get this one out. I crack myself up. Like Morse code typed out by someone with a stutter.
Well, you got the stutter part down. Yeah, exactly. You got that going for you.
But anyway, moving on. Back to Dota.
That was the next level joke, Aaron.
I do what I can.
My hat's off to you.
I do what I can.
But I do want to mention Loda has Lincolns. This is going to make life really hard for Dota with the PL. Already Slark really good against the Batrider. Now even harder to get the Doom off on him, and even if you do, they're still to relocate. Normally you'd say, okay, well then don't Doom Slark, but Slark is at that point where you can't ignore him. He's that.
Alliance now about to pick up and Aegis for free. Like you said, Slark is not. I mean, he is massive, man. And you know, net worth-wise, he's basically one big item ahead, or at least 2/3 of one.
All right, Shao8. The reflexes are coming back. He sees that Spark Lincoln and he gets the hell out.
Well, the PL trying to split push as best as it can. Able to do so, of course, because of the bots. But Alliance, I think, is ready to go high ground here.
Yeah, they definitely want to pressure the base with this Aegis. Don't have to overcommit. This game, a lot different from the last one. They have excellent late game. They have great ways to counter LGD's control in terms of the Doom and the Lasso. And they're winning in terms of the farm war. And frankly, Slark, Quap, Enchantress can easily handle what LGD has, even if it's even later on. So there is no hurry, there is no timer. And I think for Alliance, this is their comfort zone where they have options as far as how the game plays out. So we'll see what they want to do, but they definitely have position where they can go for that high ground siege if they want.
LGD, on the other hand, I think they're going to have to do something a little tricky here. I don't know that sitting back and just hoping to hold high ground with 1 rack's already down is going to get the job done. So, I mean, there's always the desperation smoke, there's always that. You know, it's a conversation.
Unfortunately, right now, I think it's only 1 smoke left, so it truly is desperation smoke if they drop it. They will not have another one, Aaron, for 8 minutes. That's a long time to be sitting in the base.
Well, they're done on the Batrider, so if their magic damage was going to be what they're riding high on, now would be the time to try to get something out of it before these heroes of Alliance manage to bulk up their inventories even more than they have already. Alliance, again, just managing the map. That's going to be a BKB now done on Slark, and yeah, he's got the Aegis of the Immortal, and I don't know that it matters. I think he's immortal anyway.
So if he completes this, he will have Aegis, Lincoln's BKB with an IO.
Exactly.
How do you kill Slark? You actually have to Doom and Lasso him just to get either one off at that point, if he's BKB'd. Like, you can't even target the guy otherwise. That's brutal.
Getting a BKB as well. And Loda.
I love the itemization, though. Well, you just pop BKB and you run in. You don't have to worry about it. They can cast every spell on you. They're not killing you. Even if they do, you get tether relocated out. EGM can post up freely, and at that point you don't focus the Slark, so that you look for the IO, but EGM's always going to be sitting really far back. Queen of Pain has a BKB, so maybe you doom her, but can you kill her while she's BKB? That's going to be tricky. Akke is getting tanky. LGD's lineup is really scary playing them ahead, but as far behind as they are, I just don't see any easy Doom lasso targets, which is part of why I think we're not seeing them go for the smoke gang. That and the Aegis, I mean, it's just not going to happen for them.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the best case scenario you're hoping for here? You get a fortuitous pick off that will not be loaded, pretty much guaranteed, and then you fall back and you're just under pressure waiting on a respawn. I mean, yes, it's a win, but it's not the kind of win that's going to bring you back into this. There will be a smoke attempt now from Alliance as they smoke up and move through the dire side jungle. And Zhao 8, if he decides to dip down here, Aggressive's down there with his illusions. Doesn't look like they've identified him quite yet. They don't have any ward down or anything up here on the high ground. They did end up bringing down that Rax. I actually didn't see how that took place, but it was very low HP. They did manage to bring it down fine.
That was just the mid lane getting shoved in after the earlier push.
Uh-oh. Low eyes on Aggressive, and thought about going in, decides to go ahead and Dark Pact preemptively to play it safe. And let's see how committed to this Alliance is going to be.
They have about a minute and a half on the Aegis, so good amount of time, and they have seen Zhao 8. Zhao 8?
He's still in he's still back in the stash.
He's still waiting for the Mithril Hammer, but he's only 100 gold short.
Yeah.
So he's going to have it any second now. Oh, no, Zhao 8 again! Here we go.
Zhao 8 brought down Lola. Going with the Shadow Dance, and will chase them deep. There's going to be MMY using that Death Ward. It's going to be enough to claim the Aegis. He has zoned them off. S4 there, ready to hit his huge Sonic Wave. Will be doomed and brought down quickly. Now Loda trying to make a run for it. Lincoln helps him out a little bit, but he's slowed and he's going to be melted.
Alliance diving way too far. Loda going behind tier 4 towers, maybe expecting EGM to be able to bail him out with the relocate. Speaking of which, they're looking for the little IO. EGM not able to get it off and at the right time, and they're going to lose EGM too. You know, you can't even really say like, oh, great high ground defense by LGD, because Alliance just got a bit cocky. That's right before the BKB comes out. Yeah, now he has.
Why not wait?
Well, if you wait, then you lose the Aegis, I guess. But at the same time,
1560 gold. There's no way you could have taken one more creep.
Yeah. Alliance getting over eager. LGD baiting them in though. You got to give them credit. Zhao 8. Every time they've gone on Zhao 8, free kill. So Alliance like, oh great, Zhao 8, let's roll him, free kill. But this time they had the 4-staff play from the Bat Rider, which made it harder to focus him down. And again, the Sunray making it difficult to finish any target off. So really good hold by LGD, but that was just Alliance overextending, and that's a big punish. Unfortunately, that's like a 5-6k gold swing. Still Alliance's game, but this is going to give LGD some new life.
Well, I would say that they haven't started to mend up quite yet. What they managed to do there was get the tourniquet on. Now they need to apply the bandage, and after that, after the wound is cleared, they'll be able to start trying to get back on their feet. And I think one more fight like that, and they'll be in that position. I mean, you can look at the gold graph, and like you said, it's substantial. It's a few K gold, but mostly just stopping what seemed to be the meteoric rise of the gold in favor of Alliance. Just getting that to cease was a win in itself. Looks like they want to try to engage. Zhao 8 doesn't have Doom available for 20 seconds. MMY does have Death Pact, Death Ward, not that it matters, as he's going to be real wild.
EGM on the front lines, just plinking away at Zhao 8 and driving 4 heroes back to the base. So, yeah, they now that they have the BKB, they feel the confidence, which is the Sark should be very unkillable. But, you know, I said that last fight, he did end up going down before he got the BKB. So now no Aegis, but a BKB, we'll have to see. Alliance still, they don't have to end the game. There is no timer. They can chill if they want farm. They'd like to end the game.
Be nice to be tied.
There's plenty of time.
Well, I mean, let's stop being sayers of nay and try to talk about LGD. They're down to Rax. Yeah, we know how much they're down. At what point do you think this Phantom Lancer becomes a real problem for a team that doesn't have great illusion clear, that is predominantly single target based? Is that point coming? And if so, what can LGD do to accelerate its arrival?
I mean, the one thing they have is the Queen of Pain, so you can potentially brawl. They found S4 in the trees, and he's gone.
That certainly helps.
Yeah, the Bat Rider kicking in. If you go off on your own farming and you don't have the wards, things get a little trickier, and that's the key pickup which I wanted to talk about, is the gem for LGD. If Alliance don't have vision, then the game gets a bit scary. BOT, PL, as well as the Bat Rider Blink, you can pick off solitary here, so maybe we see another Lincolns on the Queen of Pain as the game goes later. But yeah, I think for LGD, the point where PL becomes unstoppable, probably when you're looking like Scotty Butterfly, he's going to be very difficult to focus, but they're never going to be looking to just kill the PL in like a 1v1 setting. They'll be looking to roar him, hex him, catch him out from the fog, and ideally have like a 4 or 5v1 at that point, killing the other heroes first. So as for aggressive, it's all about just poking and prodding, never getting to the thick of the fight until your team has the advantage.
Yep. What do you think the next item pickup will be for aggressive? I mean, he can upgrade his diffusal. I mean, he could start his way towards a butterfly. If you want to go that direction, could try to tank up with a starting to work towards a heart. What do you think is going to be the right call?
Butterfly's great against Slark. Heart's great to deal with the Queen of Pain. Heart's probably the slightly safer option, and we do see the Reaver. I have Scotty's also a possibility just for general all-around stats, or if you can't make up your mind, get a little bit of both, but yeah, he's going to go for the Heart here. So just wants to survive the initial burst and then turn the fights. Smoke gang coming.
Yep, spotted out. Loda able to immediately pounce away. He's actually trapped. He can't move. Yeah, they found him.
They have to relocate.
And he does his... still going to be a guaranteed kill, at least on EGM. And...
yeah, they'll take it. Oh, well, is Alliance setting up here? They blinked forward. They want to try and counter this, so they bring back the Slug. He's got the BKB. No, there we go. They have second thoughts.
Able to tether around, like you said. Alliance not over-committing to this. EGM actually eating a fair amount of damage. They're going to be able to bring down one. That's going to be the Phoenix. Now they're going to get the roar off. That's going to be on the MMY. Forstaff gets him safe just for a little while. Now maybe trying to lay a trail of fire. Bulldog way over-committing there. Burning himself down and eating the Death Ward. S4 actually got doomed in the midst of all of that. He's going to be cleaned up. It's 3 for 3. An absolute slugfest on both sides. And aggressive, able to catch up with Akke. There's the defuse. Nature's attendance not going to be enough as they're going to chase him down and clean him up. Huge win for LGD.
That's a godlike streak on Akke now. He has been collecting a lot of last hits. That's a ton of gold for the side of LGD, and Loda looking to turn this one around. 2v1, but Slark is king right now. I don't think that they can win a match fight against him. Well, playmate though.
Loda got the fuse as well as man is down to nil. It's maybe an aggressive just chopping wood. Are they going to be able to make the little fishman sushi? Let's see.
Okay, here we go. Medical assistance is coming. Close call, Lo. Oh man. If they lose Loda as well, that's a full 5-man wipe.
Not quite. Close, but not quite. LGD, though, nonetheless, going to be quite happy with the end result of how everything went, and we can see the tide beginning to turn. We're down back into 4-digit gold lead territory for Alliance. First time in about 15 minutes it's been in that range, as a matter of fact. Enchantress has picked up her scepter, though, so her damage output about to go up. However, there's a Shiva's out now for September. And we take a look, it's not going to be very long until Aggressive has his heart up. These heroes are tanking up very quickly, LD, and I'm beginning to worry if the damage output is going to be enough on the side of Alliance.
That was a very odd fight. I mean, you go back to the way the fight started. EGM relocates out the Slark. Nobody on Alliance is really close. I think when the relocate started, they had like a Beastmaster and Enchantress roughly around the north of the tier 2. Queen of Pain wasn't at the fight yet. Normally, most teams in that situation, they'll just say, okay, we're just going to sack the IO, and everyone go back to farming, split push, wait for the IO to respawn, then we'll reset. They decided to fight, but they didn't bring the Slark in. Loda actually had to run all the way back down the lane, so they spent like 10-15 seconds of the fight without the Slark. Not sure if that was miscommunication, if that was the plan, like we're going to bait them in by just sending the IO, but then the Slark shows up. It did not work out at all, though. And Alliance was lucky that they even got what they did, so... I think if you're Alliance, you look at that fight and you say, it's not that we can't fight LGD, but we have to do it with all 5, not just with IO getting picked at the start.
Yeah, I completely agree. The value of that IO cannot be understated. And it actually did go very well for them. And the fact they brought down September as early as they did in that fight, I thought was going to bode very well for them. But again, it's one of those things where the theory craft is just beginning to become reality, where it's aggressive is a problem. He's now upgraded his diffusal, now has a heart, single target's not enough. There's going to be the last one to grab S4. Here comes Loda back into the fight. Let's see if they got the job done. That's 3 BKBs going off all at once. LGD now going to give pursuit. Still haven't brought anyone down from Alliance as S4 was able to escape. And now Alliance, nope, doesn't look like
the relocate's coming back. Good save there on a doomed S4. And now they look for the turnaround. The combo's been blown a bit, and Alliance are rushing forward. September able to Icarus dive away, using the sunwing to melt things down. And Alliance is
actually being forced back. Aggressive is down to about half health. There's going to be the force staff after the roll. Oh, the Sonic Wave just missed, but it didn't matter as S4's there with the blink ahead to clean up the kill on the Phantom Lancer. 2-0. How deep does Alliance want to go here? Loda looking for the Doom, not going to be able to find him. And now just going straight on to the tier 3.
Oh man, those clutch relocate saves. It was talked about in the pregame discussion in the draft, and we have seen them come up huge. EGM fading out big spells onto the Queen of Pain and then turning to fight. Now Shelly getting caught, that's one. Loda looking for more, he's got the ultimate. We'll use it to back away, but they concede this. There is no Doom for a minute. The last is down for 50, and Alliance have LGD right where they want them. They take down the tier 3. They're looking for the racks. This is going down. This might be going to a game 3. It is looking very bleak for LGD, Aaron.
I don't know how LGD can recover now. I mean, yes, you've got a Phantom Lancer, so never say die and all that. Doom's down for 35 seconds, no buyback. The Phantom Lancer still another 20 seconds from being able to pop back up. They're going to lose at least their tier 3 top, and you're now up against this team that is so good at spreading the map. And the best case is you're down 2 racks. BKBs are going to go off on both sides. Looks like they want to engage. There's going to be a roar on the Maybe's down, and he's going to buy back immediately. But this is Megas.
Megas and he buys back. This is looking ugly. LGD on their last legs here. It's mega creeps for Alliance. Hiding on against the big dogs to try at LGD. And on the break of forcing at the side he gave the 3. They're still tier 2 mid. Roshan is up now. I don't know how
they can't leave the base.
They don't have the best heroes to deal with mega creeps. There's okay wave clear from Batrider. PL can sort of deal with it, but there's no cleaving heroes. There's no Medusa or Sven or someone who has just good wave clear in general. No massive AoE spells like even Alina. This is a terrible lineup, to be honest, as far as defending against Megas goes. And you're up against a great split pushing lineup.
Yep.
And Alliance could probably take the fights anyway, let's be honest. So LGD on their last legs. You could just see the call now from Akke. Push the lanes in, guys. Leave them with no path but a retreat back to the fountain, and then we'll finish them. And S4 says, let's kill the throne. That seems to be a good plan.
Yeah, the Ancient. Aren't you supposed to do the opposite of defend it if you want to win?
Kill the bastard. Kill it with fire.
LGD. And I don't know what even to add. Like, you try to stay positive, but this one... Ghastly Ire and all that in the bag for Alliance. And it does look like we're going to be moving ahead to a Game 3, barring some kind of a miracle. And, at this point, if you're LGD, man, do you just gather up and push down mid and hope for the best?
That's pretty much a surefire recipe to lose as well, right? Because you gather up and push down mid. They don't push out the side lanes fast enough, so they'll just lose the creep. And Alliance can just split push them or relocate in backdoor. At the same time, I don't think it's going to come to that because Alliance is rushing right here, right now. As soon as they get the Aegis, they will be looking for the throne, probably with a pick-off first into that final lane of racks. Not lane of racks, the final tier 4 towers.
Looks like they're ready to end.
This is ugly. This is going to be like the hardest base defense I think I've seen in a long time.
As we look ahead to this fight, LD, I mean, it's pretty lopsided. Going to take a whole lot of things going wrong all at once for Alliance. Where do you think things went wrong in this game? Let's go ahead and chat about that momentarily.
I think it really comes down to the way the fights went, where every fight, Alliance with the vision advantage from the Hawk, the really good ward placement, they get the jump, and it's always on the Doom, at least for those first 4 fights. Every single fight with the Doom down off the bat, they lose. They didn't get what they needed to out of Chalet in the off lane, and you compare that to last game, they had plenty of great initiation, so maybe it's the vision game, maybe it's just positioning. Tough to say what aspect of initiation they need to work on, but I think LGD are going to look at this and say, if we had better fights, it would have been an entirely different game.
I mean, just positioning, I think, is the key thing here. Like, the initiation, yeah, that was lacking, you're 100% right, but Jolly, like you said, being caught out just seems like, even though they were able to kind of take fights where they were initiated upon and sort of turn them, after a while, it just turned into, yeah, we can kind of reset them at best, but we're resetting into a losing position. So, something that's definitely going to be talked about, as you said, most likely after the game. Alliance is playing this as patience to a fault, I would just about say, as they're continuing to slowly choke this map out, even though LGD really on the ropes and just ready for the death blow.
Yeah, you can see Bulldog was clearing out some buffer buildings, the boar turning into a rat here before very eyes. It's not really a rat game, it is just a head-on siege. LGD, they're starving, man. This team is bleeding. from every orifice. They're having a tough time, and it's just going to take that one pick. If they find a hero without buyback and kill him, it's over right now. Otherwise, it might take a little longer, but here we go. Aggressive in deep.
Leading from every orifice, you paint quite a picture, my friend. There's going to be the roll on to maybe the follow-up as Airship is deployed. BKBs go off on both sides. Definitely going to be out from MMY. Good damage being done. Sonic Wave's going to be there. September does manage to get the egg off right before he drops. Shall wait, said scurrying for the fountain. He'll make it back just in time to watch his teammates die. As there is a buyback immediately off of EGM, he's happy to rejoin the fight. S4 is a little bit low, but aggressive, doing what he can, but what he can just ain't enough.
They're holding, but the creeps are killing off tier 4s. There's still objectives being claimed by Alliance here, and the LGD, they recognize it. A noble effort, but they just didn't have the guns to come back from this kind of deficit.
Going to a game 3, my friend, Alliance able to bounce back after a tough game 1 and force yet another series to the distance. And you know, the old, what's the old joke? You know, when it comes to Alliance, oh, you just ban their heroes, just ban their heroes. Alliance has got a lot of freaking heroes, man, and they're